What it is, I am Controlled Pairs with Controlled Pairs Gaming, and today I'm bringing you guys a special video that I have made in collaboration with my buddies Jack and Liam over at JAAM. They run their own channel, and it's linked right now on screen and in the description, and you will be able to see it throughout the video. So the challenge goes something like this. Jack and Liam run a channel that's based a lot on comedy. They play games like GTA 5 and Skate 3. They've done some Amnesia, and they've also done some Kerbal Space Program. However, when they do KSP, it tends to result in massive fiery crashes, whereas I tend to focus on actually accomplishing stuff like getting to the moon and traveling to other planets and stuff like that. But their stuff tends to explode, and they do a bunch of really funny videos. But to their credit, recently they have been getting a little bit better. And in today's challenge, basically, they've designed this craft for me, which is supposed to be able to get to the moon. And I think it's the first time they've ever attempted to design something like this. In return, I have designed a craft that is supposed to make a kick-ass explosion, and I have provided it to them, and a link to that video will also be in the description whenever their video becomes available. So I'm taking this thing to the moon, and they are going to blow up the one that I made for them, and I'm looking forward to seeing the results. So let's see what this thing can do. Kerbal Engineer is telling me that it gets 7,531 meters per second of delta V, which in theory should be enough to get to the moon. And it looks like it'll be able to do that without any major problem. But I do have some questions about the design. It has solar panels, that's good. It has no batteries that I see, but solar panels should be just fine. Has 2 RCS tanks, which might be a little bit too much. The lander is incredibly long, but that's okay. We can still manage to land it, and it looks like it actually separates after landing to maybe even get all the way back. They have put a parachute on it. That's a big step up, Jack. I appreciate you doing that. That's very optimistic of you. And then we've got these 2.5 meter parks in a huge launch stage. Now, the launch stage is what I'm most concerned about, because while you see that the fuel tanks are connected to one another, they're not connected to the center. So that's going to bounce around just a little bit since they're only being attached by these radial decouplers, and there's also no fuel lines running from the exterior to the main tank, which means that these engines are going to burn uneven. But that's okay. It's okay. We can probably, hopefully, still get to the moon. So let's give it a shot. Alright, so we find ourselves on the launch pad. I'm going to engage SAS and RCS, and the staging seems to be in order. The first stage is going to fire all of our engines, so I'm going to go ahead and throttle up all the way and lift off. Now, the thrust to weight ratio appears to be pretty high, and it's a little unwieldy. I can see it kind of flapping around just a little bit early on, but if we throttle back a little bit, we should be able to control it. I've also noticed that they rotated the craft during the building, so I just hit D on my keyboard to try to pitch over to 90 degrees to get ready to go to the moon, and apparently at some point they rotated it because it wasn't a 90 degree turnover. It was like 180 or whatever that was, 110, I don't know. So I've also noticed now that they have a mainsail engine in the center of the launch stage, so that is going to burn off all of its fuel first. So we're actually going to lose that center engine first. These exterior engines are going to take a little bit longer because they've got skippers on board. I hope that we don't run into any major issues when that happens, because it is possible that once this mainsail burns out completely, that these skippers on the side end up actually trying to push forward and separate from the craft, which would suck. Yeah, we got about 5 more seconds left in the mainsail in the center, and it is about gone. This is kind of a moment of truth. We're getting a little bit unwieldy. We're good. We're still good. Okay. So we're crossing over 14K right now. I'm going to continue my gravity turn, continue pitching over. Since it is so long and all the RCS is at the top, I am trying to do the gravity turn real slow. I'm pushing the apoapsis now across 24K. Oh, man. I think we could actually get this to the moon. It kind of flies like a toaster, but I think we can get it to the moon. So good on you, Jack. I think Jack designed this. I don't know what Liam had to do with it. Alright, we're going to push that apoapsis up to, I think we're going to go for like an 85K initial orbit. We'll circularize there and then transfer. Our speed is at 570 meters per second and climbing quickly. We've got about 20 seconds left in the launch stage. So yeah, I mean, it has a ton of delta V. I mean, Kerbal Engineer was right. It has plenty of fuel and potential for energy that there's no reason it shouldn't be able to get to the moon other than piloting and design error, but we'll see how that turns out. So we're about 15 seconds away from ditching this launch stage and going to the cruise stage. Is there an engine in there? I hope so. Okay, it's another mainsail. Wow, that's a lot. Alright, let's ditch it. Right now. Oh, wow, that was exciting. Okay, alright, everything seems to be good. We got another mainsail. I'm gonna fire it. Man, that thing has a lot of power. Okay. I don't think I've ever needed a mainsail to circularize before. It's a little extra, but you know, it'll do. It's a little crude, but it'll work. Apoapsis is officially out of Kerbin's atmosphere, so we're pushing it over 75k now. And as soon as we hit 80, I'm going to kill the engines, and we'll plan on circularizing there. So we hit 80, jump out to the map view, find our apoapsis, and we actually, no way, we might be able to actually burn straight for the moon. There we go. Get on the maneuver node. We still have plenty of monopropellant left. I'm going to get those solar panels out because I am. Oh my gosh, look at this. Solar panels, like, we only have 50 units of solar charge on here. And so if I don't get these panels out, if I hadn't noticed that, we would have ran out of electricity and that would have sucked. Guys, you got to put batteries on your stuff. Gots to. But we should be just fine. So we have an estimated 17-second burn occurring in 50 seconds from now. Fire it up. It's a little shaky. It's a little shaky. Alright, and I think we are officially in orbit, and we are circularized at 80k. That maneuver actually went really well. Cool. And we can shoot straight for the moon here. And we've got plenty of power to get there. It's just going to be whether or not this thing can actually land. And I think it can. You guys actually did a really good job, I think, of designing it. There's so much like extra energy and extra fuel and stuff. That's called delta V. That I don't think we're going to run into any issues. And I can fly it pretty much just really inefficiently and still be just fine. Alright, so this one's going to be a 20-second burn occurring 2 minutes, 12 seconds from now. We'll go ahead and fast forward to that node. We'll initiate it 10 seconds prior to T. It'll go until 10 seconds after T. And that should put us on a collision course with the moon where we will intersect with it 70k above its surface. Fire the engines in 8 seconds. Everything seems to look good. Firing engines. And then I turned off SAS because we were getting a little bit of shaking. I leave RCS on so we can stay oriented on the maneuver node. 4 seconds left in the burn. 3, 2, 1, kill it. And turn SAS back on. Looks like I need a little bit of more prograde because we haven't got that intersection quite yet. There we go. And you know what? We're going to come in low. Really low. Like 10k low. Because this thing has so much fuel in it. Why not fly it a little bit risky? You know. Why not? That's alright. That's it. That's as much as I can do. Oh, man. Alright. So I just did the transfer burn. I've tweaked it now so that my parapsis, when I encounter the moon, is at 6,000 meters above the surface. That's really low, like unsafe low. There are peaks on the moon that are higher than 6k that I could potentially crash into, but you know, we're doing a collaboration with JAAM, so I figured why not just do unsafe and unsavory things. I did quick save though because there's a high likelihood that this goes wrong from this point. Alright. This one actually says we're on a collision course. That's not good. So, having time warped forward, it now says that rather than being 10k off the moon, we are going to nick it. So I'm going to... Oh my god. I'm going to bring it up to like 8 or 10k if I can. This is going to get dangerous. Oh man. But I know I might be getting a little bit too ahead of the game right now, but this thing could have the potential to actually land and then, knock on wood, maybe return. Maybe. Alright, 13k. What's down there? What is that? Oh, that's my drilling site! Man, it's been so long! That's funny. That's from the drilling series. There it is. It's been a while since I've been up here, man. At least on this save. My LKO show save doesn't have that stuff there. Cool. Everything is still down there. Alright, so now I'm burning retrograde. I am going to capture. And then I'm going to try to put us down in the daylight, hopefully. God willing. We don't have much fuel left in this stage. What kind of engines are under here? And do they all fire at once? They do. Because it's about to get low and very, very dangerous. We're still traveling really fast. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and kill off the rest of my horizontal velocity. Actually, you know what? I'll wait. We'll get down to like 15 and then we'll do it right now. Okay, so now we're traveling like 800 meters a second. Super low. I'm going to fire up that mainsail. Drain it completely. Ditch it. And then I'm going to fire up these last 3 engines. 4 engines. And start killing off the rest of that horizontal velocity. And this is the moment of truth. It looks like we are going to have plenty of fuel. But the only thing I am concerned about now is how top heavy this thing is. All the mass is up really high, especially as we drain these fuel tanks. The center of mass is shifting up and it's really long, so it's going to want to tip over. We'll go ahead and get those landing legs extended. Alright, and now we are essentially floating. We are only traveling 12 meters per second, 8k above the surface. Let's jump in the cockpit and watch that radar altitude. We are 2,000 meters above the surface with the radar. We should start seeing a shadow here pretty soon. There's a shadow. We have good control. We're going to come down nice and easy. I'm leaving the RCS on. We've got 117 units RCS left. Might as well use it during a landing. Speed is at 20 meters per second. 500 meters from the ground. We still have eyes on the shadow. And this is actually going way better than expected. I still have enough fuel left in all those tanks. I can't see this yet. Alright, there it is. Freaking glitches, man. We want to make sure we land at less than 5 meters per second. Right now we are at 5 meters per second. About 40 meters off the ground. Coming down nice and easy. Come on. And we have touchdown. We have successfully made it to the moon, and that was the challenge. So, Jack and Liam, well done on your part. You have designed something that is capable of actually conducting space travel rather than just exploding. And it actually works really well. We got here, we have plenty of fuel left over, and the spacecraft is still in working order, and we are safely on the moon. So I'm gonna create a landing site in honor of your engineering innovation and your pioneering endeavors in space travel. That's a beautiful thing. And you are forever part of Kerbal history. Let's grab a photo and then see if we can go home, which I think we can. I noticed that you guys didn't put a heat shield on the re-entry craft or the command module. So that might not go our way, but you know. All right, so we've got lots of fuel left in this stage. When I decouple, we'll expose what kind of engine is that? A Terrier. That's not going to be very powerful. Oh well, let's give it a shot. Alright, so right now we're just trying to reach escape velocity. I think that this has enough delta V to reach escape velocity and to then capture planet Kerbin, and we'll automatically capture and then actually land and hopefully re-enter and survive. The only concern I do have is that there is no heat shield on the command pod, but it does have inline SAS in this massive stage, so it might, maybe, be able to survive re-entry, but it only has one parachute on it, and because I can't separate the rest of this stuff, it's going to weigh a lot, so I don't know. I'd say Bill's got like a 50-50 chance of living through the rest of this day. We're going to fly back over the moon drilling site. That was a fun series. I enjoyed that. And we're out of fuel in the lander, so we are in our final stage, and hopefully that's enough to get home. Goodbye, lander. We have reached escape velocity. I killed the engines. We're going to time warp to the moon escape position, and then we'll look at doing our retrograde burn in order to land on Kerbin. Alright, so we've reduced our parapsis to 5K above the surface of Kerbin, and we're going to come in really, really fast. And oh, look, there goes my space station. That's cute. So in the process, we are definitely going to lose this engine, probably this fuel tank, and probably one, maybe both of these RCS tanks, and maybe the SAS. There is no heat shield on this thing, so I'm hoping it survives, but I'm not that optimistic. Maybe the solar panels will function like wings and like we'll glide safely in, but I doubt it. Additionally, assuming that the spacecraft does survive re-entry, it has one parachute on it, but it has all this extra stuff. So whatever doesn't get blown up, the stress of that landing will be on one parachute. And so we need like the perfect storm to happen where everything gets destroyed up to the command pod and then it stops so that the parachute can open up everything. If too little of stuff gets blown up but we survive re-entry, then we're going to fall straight into the ocean or the ground. But if not enough stuff gets, it's just, you get it. It's like threading a needle. We will see. Alright, so we start to get re-entry effects. We're definitely going to lose those solar panels, but that's by design. I want them to get destroyed because I want to reduce the mass of the spacecraft. I'm also going to start burning the engines to get rid of the excess mass there. Solar panels just got destroyed and ripped off. We need the rest of this fuel to get burned up, and we want to shed as much mass as possible while still surviving so that whenever we do deploy the parachute, we can safely land. We actually also now have to be worried about the electric charge too, because the solar panels are gone and no longer functioning, and we are at 47 units of electricity and falling. And it looks like everything actually survived re-entry, which is good. Now my only concern is that because everything survived re-entry, we weigh way too much for one parachute. Way too much. But maybe all this excess stuff on the bottom will soak up the impact. And I don't know. We also just ran out of electricity, so that's awesome. I know the parachute will still deploy because I tested that recently, but God damn it. This is chaos. Oh man. Alright, so we are traveling at 225 meters per second. I'm going to go ahead and deploy the parachute and hope for the best. Parachute's deployed and out and dragging. Come on, Bill. Oh man, this is not good. I think it's set to actually inflate at 500 meters, if I remember correctly. Yeah, 500. That's a little low. Whatever. Oh, crap. Come on. Come on. Here we go. It's the moment of truth. Alright, so... Come on. Parachute's inflated. We're falling. We're falling. We're falling. Oh, and it's a rough landing, but somehow Bill manages to survive. I think we hit it like 40 meters per second. I can't believe that worked out. And I mean, he's rolling down a mountain, but hey, he is good to go. Guys, thanks for checking out the video today. I hope you enjoyed the challenge that we did with JAAM, and definitely go check out their page. They make some really good stuff. Be sure to look for the video that they made with the spacecraft that I designed for them. And until next time, this is Controlled Pairs, signing off.